All right, y'all, we got our first guest in the building. DSoul in the place to be. Sadly, unfortunately, misguided by me, left off of the best dressed list. We'll have to correct that in 2019. And we're just kind of, this is literally just like a shooting the shit video about things that he's thinking about. Maybe I'll chime in around mobility, specifically in the shoulder blades. And I feel like this is so crucial to like human existence right now because our shoulder blade mobility is literally being like genocided by phones. And it just, the fascia goes crunk, and then all of a sudden you're like kunk, and you're like, that's no, dude, lift your arms over your head. And you're like, I am lifting my arms over my head, right? And yeah, so we're gonna switch cameras and yeah, just like rap about it.
Yeah. So I mean,
This way.
I guess a lot of this, the most kind of relevant knowledge that I get, and I think for most people in general, is when they start to get injured. Because I think the biggest thing in our society is we don't want to be in pain. In general, as humans, we don't want to be in pain. So a lot of people just try and take the easy way out. And that is just, painkillers, anti-anxiety meds, antidepressants. They want a quick fix. But actually, if you can sit in that pain and allow it to teach you something, like for me, I actually read so many books in a short amount of time because I was in so much pain. And I have health insurance, but in America, going through the health insurance system is ridiculous. So by the time I was seeing doctors, they were sending me to another doctor and then a specialist and then da-da-da-da-da. They run you around and you can't figure anything out. You're still in pain. And by the time that you're going through all these hoops, you're already figuring it out. So as far as shoulder mobility, I would always get pain in kind of my upper trap region. And I had a lot of injuries this year that had to do with myofascial stuff in the ribs, intercostal muscles, the muscles between the ribs, and then also my thoracic spine. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I had a desk job for this whole year. And I noticed that actually I had the slightest bit of lean on my armrest for most of the days, and that slowly would build up. And before work, I would work out. I'd come to work and just plop down, sit down, lean. And then
what does leaning do? Because I noticed that because I use my laptop on a beam, and I'll notice I'm kind of, and then all of a sudden it but I don't know exactly what the ramifications are.
Yeah.
Is leaning.
Well, there was a lot of compensation happening in my spine and diaphragm because the way I hit with the diaphragm, it was causing my body to concave slightly, which was also stretching the.
You're saying you hit in slightly?
No, hitting out.
Okay.
And even going bopping in, it's all creating tension throughout the rib cage.
Okay.
And especially when you're in compromised positions and hitting, that becomes a real issue. But the thing is then I'd be at work like this because it took a lot of work to sit like this, right? So, what would happen is the erectors along my spine would be, this is what the PT guy said, that they're overextended, they're stretched constantly, and that's what was building up the tension. And then eventually I would try and compensate, but the thing is I'd sit in proper posture, but my actual biology, my anatomy was like I was doing an isometric all day because my body wasn't in proper position because the muscles were all out of balance to begin with.
Right, and I assume your erectors get super tight, so you're not at neutral. You just switched, right, from here to here at some level.
Yeah. So I had a straight back, so you'd be like, oh yeah, you sit proper at work. Okay, yeah, the pain should go away, right? But in actuality, it was just causing more tension in different areas. And so the main thing is to strengthen up the areas that are that are weak. Like for example, I was doing a lot of bench press, so my shoulders start to come forward, right? And then my back spreads open and is extra wide and tense. So then I would pull this back, but then I'm actually doing like an isometric with my traps and my
What
lats.
does the trap do? Like, how is the trap involved in turning that into an isometric?
So, like, for example, my relaxed position would be here, right?
Yes.
If I'm just standing, this is like terrible posture, right? My
Yeah.
pelvic tilt.
Yeah.
Then my shoulders are rolled forward.
Yeah.
Now, my traps are like fully extended, right? So it's almost like I'm curling them back now. And I'm pinching them back. So what you want to do is be able to strengthen the muscles in your shoulder blades and in your back to pull your shoulder blades back naturally, not actually just force them back to posture. This is
What are those muscles? That like lower traps?
what is
The ones that you want to strengthen? Rhomboids?
yeah. So what I've been doing recently is
yeah.
doing especially like wall slides.
Ah.
Yeah, so wall slides like pulling down, but like keeping like this is also mobilizing the shoulder blade, but like fully contracting the shoulder, like pinching the shoulder blades together, and then pushing back the whole way, which is also don't arch your back, keep your pelvis
Posterior
yeah,
tilt.
yeah. So in proper position, and then extend up.
Ooh.
And this, like, if you can.
Now, how do you know, like, one of the things I actually said or like very early on when I went live tonight was I've been doing a lot of yoga bar classes, right? So that ballet is so posture oriented, right? And one of the things that I realized I've never had as a like frame to think about posture with is where are my collarbones at? And I've started to think like, I tend to think about shoulders, like pull my shoulders back, but what that actually does is it makes the collarbone convex, right? And I've started to think that, oh, maybe that's actually a very useful cue, is to just think about making a straight line with your collarbone, because then if you focus on the shoulders, what feels right for I'm thinking like what you want is, how do you bring your shoulders back while your collarbone doesn't join in on the motion?
Like when you did that, I see your collarbone raise, and also your sternum comes up, right?
There?
Like like what you just did. Yeah. See.
Right.
Yeah.
That's you don't want that. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that without bringing awareness to my collarbone, and maybe for someone else it could be their sternum or just their rib cage in general, like that your shoulders are the wrong thing to be focused on, basically, because they have this tendency to either go too far this way or too far this way. And you're like, oh, I'm too far this way, let me pull back my shoulders, but they actually go like that.
Yeah, you're like mobilizing your spine and not really your shoulders.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
It's a lot of the stuff that I've been working on lately is like, it's the hardest part about this sort of mobility approach is the fact that it's all neuromuscular stuff, right? Like you can get such an extreme workout from just doing mobility work, but the thing is that you have to have such focus and intention with, like, for example, what you're talking about is like just moving your shoulder, like isolating that completely and not moving anything else, you know, separating each part. And this is huge for poppers, is learning how to actually isolate. The illusion of isolation is like, can be actually not completely isolating the joint, you know? So if you have the shoulder here, now lengthen out completely, like so. If you can see, let's see.
Yeah, go closer. I'm sure they're like, dude, go closer.
See the shoulder. So you might have seen people like Harry Berry do stuff like this, right? Like they do the head and then they pull the shoulder.
Nice isolation, dude.
So just practicing this, finding your end range of motion, and actually at that end range of motion, that's where the isometric begins. Like, so if I push to my like furthest ability, now we're talking max weight. Like you're literally pushing. You can push as hard as you want. At the end of this range of motion, it could be like I'm pushing 300 pounds. You know, I mean I can't do 300
but
pound
sure
dumbbell press, but
sure.
As far as like this is actually making me like fully contract. You know, pulling back forward. This in itself is like, this is how my workouts look now.
How do you cue? Because I know for me, one of the things that I tend to do with this stuff is start rotating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are your cues to remember to like engage the probably what would be obliques or transverse or?
Yeah. You start to become aware of different stuff the more you do this sort of stuff. The mirror is actually pretty good for this sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if I like, so being honest with your end range of motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like if you're here, like you might feel like, oh no, I want to go further. So you like start to here, you start to push. But actually you're creating a resistance now, but just in the joint here.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And then I feel like that's for people that are newer and maybe like less flexible, like I have had a tendency to be, and I know you've worked through this, in trying to imitate like Junior Boogaloo, let's say, somebody like that. I have had a tendency throughout my dancing to do exactly what he's saying, to overextend, and it actually loses the isolation. And it's taken me a long time to realize that no matter how limited your range of motion is, if you respect it, the aesthetic look of it is still dope. You don't need a huge range of motion for it to read as like, damn, that's sick.
Yeah. It just has to be isolated.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, so the reason I'm saying that is because what I just thought was like, oh, so if I respect this and I stay here, now this becomes a second isolation.
Yeah.
And then
that's a 2-part move.
Yeah, rather than thinking, oh, that's a one, like, look, I'm doing it, and it's like, no, your shoulder.
Yeah. For example, so if you get to your end range of motion here, you're lengthening your lat and your trap. Now, if I twist from here, this can be another full extension now, and that's the end range of motion for me, right? But now I'm trying to even pull back with my left shoulder. But if I focus on the rotation of my torso, now I can compensate with my leg too, right? So I can come here and here, or I can come out and then rotate, right?
Mm-hmm. And can you? Is there an intermediate one where the rib cage turns but the torso the hips stay still?
Yeah, it's like a twisto almost, right? So you're like here, lengthen, and then bring the left shoulder back, but the hips stay square, back, boom.
Yeah, and I think as you guys can see, like, it looks dope,
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, like, I'm just getting into the terminology of all this stuff too.
Sure.
And a lot of the stuff that I'm just really bouncing it off of these guys. But as far as like let's say like wrists, for example, too, is another one. I was just with my friend last night, and he's doing rock climbing, right? He's a PT guy, but he does rock climbing, and he talks about like supinating the wrist, and like, so he did this drill where I'm gonna do this, but I'm like just reiterating what he taught me.
Okay.
But for example, if I'm here, now I want you to push into my hand, like rotate outward. Yeah. So I'm gonna put a little resistance. So here, everything aligned. So have your arm straight to your side, and now I want you to rotate out. I'm gonna put a little resistance going this way. Keep rotating out. Yeah. And try and keep your stomach tight. Yeah, everything aligned. Keep rotating out. Okay, now I want you to relax, and now when you come here, now try and rotate it out further. Yeah. So then every time you do this, if I put resistance again, the next time you'll be able to go a little further.
It's like PNF stretching. Do you know PNF?
No.
Contract, that's the technical term for contract, relax stretching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm familiar with contract and relax.
Yeah. PNF stands for something like proprioceptive, like, neuro, whatever. That was the scientific paper where contract, relax was first introduced as a concept. They called it PNF.
So for all y'all out there that want to be marketable, learn this shit. Learn the language, because at the end of the day, like, I just know basic explanation and kind of body awareness.
I don't know, dude. I disagree. I think he's gonna take over because he is the best explainer, because that scares everybody off. And so technically, yeah, like, oh, that's impressive. You know that it's PNF straight, but it's like for this world that we live in, where like the biggest person on YouTube is PewDiePie, you know, is just like in a room, like whatever. I feel like your way is much better because it's so relatable.
So for example, with this one, right?
Yeah.
This is a tough one. Like this one is kind of perfectly related to tutting, right?
Okay.
Because a lot of people struggle with like even hitting this angle. Like, so having the wrist, like, you know, flat at this. Like, I'm even shaking a little bit when I want to try and get this as 90 as possible, right?
Uh-huh.
You feeling the stretch all the way through your forearm and
sure.
even into your elbow, right?
For sure.
Yeah, so even when you get into these positions, like, this is where that type of stretch really comes into handy. Like, to have those angles be perfectly flat.
Well, I also feel, I mean, this comes full circle to the shoulder blade stuff, because I know, I feel it so much when I try to go into these ones. Like, if I'm honest, I'm locking out right here, and in order to get here, I have to, you know, the mobility is not there for the full range of the shoulder blade.
Yeah. For example, if you do, the, what I would call the 6 square, right? So like, even in this position, I'm trying to push back, and I'm not trying to roll down. I mean, I can do it this way, which is kind of funky and dope.
Sure.
But like, to like really train my mobility, like from here, here, and really, cause like here, a lot of people want to like turn a little bit, right? But to create the illusion of like the clean angles, you want this to rotate on its own, right? So what is actually moving here is your shoulders. Your torso is remaining square. So then when you come up, this is where it gets difficult, right? For you especially.
Yeah.
So like really push back.
Where?
Right here, I'm pushing back from here and keeping my abs engaged and my pelvis tucked. Because naturally, I want to do this.
Right.
Yeah, I want to do this. But I'm actually, my body wants to go like this, especially when I reach overhead, right? So even when I do shoulder presses.
Right.
But if I'm here, this is what I'm training. So I can have these flat.
Right. And I actually think, to go back to before we started this video, when we were just kind of chatting, like, this idea, I think this is almost one of Slim's superpowers, is because, you know, he puts so much emphasis on bone tucking, right? And I feel like he has really good range, right? And he's really good about, and in fact, he always talks about that, and Tabot always talks about that, that they spent so long getting him to stop sticking his butt out. But I feel like he got it now, and that what that does to lines is like crazy. It's like beauty. Things become beautiful, because this just doesn't even, you know, like in 2019, it's associated with like femininity or like being gay or something like that. But just on an aesthetic level, it's like when your body breaks from like bone, it signals, I feel like on a monkey primate level, to go kind of Rogan on it, is like, oh, you're kind of weak. You're kind of a weak person. You know, like you're not a full human.
Well, that's like what Jordan does super well too.
Exactly.
I mean, yoga is a huge part of his practice, but like
he's the one that inspired me.
Yeah, when he's in his positions, there's really not much compromising in his body, because he trains those positions.
And I feel like Future can be pretty good at that sometimes.
Yeah, I actually haven't watched Future I guess in relation to that. I mean, he's always super clean, you know. So I mean, it never like, I haven't gotten down with him too much in person, so it's like. So
when you do this, like, I feel like in order for me to, like, if I'm how I would usually be, I'm like that, right? And this all just goes, right?
Yeah.
And in order for me to stop that, I mean, I really am like, like,
Yeah.
like my whatever this is, hip flexors or lower abs or whatever.
See, a lot of it has to do with like how you conceptualize. Like a lot of this stuff is like getting out of your like vision and actually like zooming into and conceptualizing how your joints are moving, you know. And it might not actually be how the joint is shaped, but if you imagine two like pillars or cylinders that are drilled in here and your arms are rotating around that. So yeah, so instead of like going like this, you're actually focusing on like your square, everything's square, and then it's just from the shoulder. It's just from the shoulder here. Like for example right here, it would be, you know, pivot down here, right? There's
Wow, that's super helpful.
So if you can conceptualize it in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this dude Nick, I can't remember what it was. It was something about like this one, or what, I can't remember which one it was. It could have been this one, but he was saying like one of these ones, like if you put your focus, like if we're doing something like this, if I put my focus, which I would tend to maybe like here, this tends to get loosey-goosey. So it's like if you can put that point as close to the origin of the movement, it actually becomes significantly easier because the torque is so much less.
Yeah.
You're closer to the center of the movement.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah. There's so many different ways you can conceptualize different mechanisms that are working, and it'll influence how you move, you know? Like even when you were doing this, I was imagining imagine that there's a stick that's coming out at a distance, and actually you're focusing on stopping the stick out here.
Wow.
Yeah. So like imagine here, there's an extension, and that's moving, That's you're trying to stop this. Yeah. So if it's extra long, for example, it's harder to stop quickly, right? So what does that do to the actual muscle tension in your arm?
Increases it.
It increases it.
Huh.
Yeah. So if it's lighter and it's shorter, then it can be like almost like quicker. But if you're imagining it out there, it's a little more. And if the stick is your focus, the end point of the stick, then when you move just a little bit, the gap in the tick over here is big.
Right. That's what I was thinking. It makes me think to do it much smaller.
Yeah, smaller.
Because I'm picturing
something over there.
Yeah, I'm picturing it being this big, but in order for it to be this big there, it's like that big here. Last time, I haven't seen Tavo in a while, but last time I was with him, he was telling me what I need to do to kind of come full circle. Is he said that he never has back or shoulder pain ever, and it's because he does this. He just reaches like, and he lets I always think of like keep your shoulder down and stuff like that. He's like no, like just go.
Let it go.
Yeah, and just up, go on your tiptoes, like more.
See, where does he get this from? That's my question. It's like, yeah, that seems like that's such good knowledge.
I know.
Like this is such a crucial, like, it's like when you wake up in the morning, you know, you're trying to stretch, but like that I think is some primal shit, you know.
Totally.
That's like completely lengthening. It's also like free hanging, you know.
Yeah.
The free hang is also part of that. Active hanging for the shoulders is also another one that I've been doing too, where I'll do dead hang to active hang.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's because Okinawa is like some farm place, and farmers they're so practical because they're like dealing with their body all day, every day for existence.
Yeah.
And
fishing
and so those kind of cultures, they come out, it's like, oh, my back, it's like everybody's back. So it's ours is so theoretical.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, no, I want my movement to look graceful.
Yeah,
They're like, bro, I need to fucking get the potatoes out of the ground. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I can't be all janked up.
Yeah. Another one I've been working on
keep
recently
going. I'm gonna check the chat and stuff.
Yeah. Another one I've been working on recently is kind of like thinking about my spine as longer than it is. So like if you think about how your spine comes up to the base of your head, and then where does it end, right? Your tailbone. It's like what in yoga they call it the mula bandha, right? So like that, I think.
Somebody just brought up Becoming a Supple Leopard.
There you go. Yeah. Supple Leopard's a great book. Yeah, I read that like back, probably like 2013. But this like what I'm also working on is this whole hip capsule, and I think as men, we don't want to explore like this like region, sure. Right? All this hip socket stuff. There's so much going on in there, like the way your hip moves and like.
Sure.
And for me, I'm like working a lot of the stuff that's like underneath. It's like undercarriage, but like this.
Sure.
Like even doing something like this, a basic kneel, and then from here I was doing this today, and this is all intuitive. Like I was like, oh man, my hip is super sore because I've been doing a lot of balance stuff. But like instead of just going like this, right? Like a lot of people just do this. Like look at my back, like it's rounded.
Yes.
But this feels like a forward fold, right?
Yes. Because
I'm like thinking with my head, I'm like, okay, yeah, forward, like my vision is coming down, I'm looking down. But if I really want to get up in there, I come here and I like reach over, and I'm actually conceptualizing my spine like so, like right at the bottom of my ass, basically. But using that as the folding point and reaching all the way out, and that's so much further than I was before. And I'm really reaching forward, and even if I bring my leg to the side, I'm still like really focusing from the back, like instead of just coming here and doing this.
The main thing that it looks like visually is in the one that like is normal, the bad one. It's the hips. It's like a collapsing into the hip socket versus a reaching out from the hip socket. Yeah. This for me is like was one of the things that like training with Jordan a lot too. Like realizing this is one of the things that would get most crowded on me. Like most people can't really raise their legs straight up. Whoa!
But that's where it hits me. Is that's where it's crowded. Yeah. But before I couldn't really even raise my knee above 90. So like to have this, so like most people and what I did in the beginning was like, and I still correct it, but my knee is bent, right? And my body's already collapsed. So if I lock out, engage my quad, tuck my hips, and then lift my knee up, but keep that knee locked out, because my knee wants to bend to keep compensating to bring it higher. But
You know, I have a really great yoga teacher right now, and he taught, this is the first step in yoga. You start here, and then you go here, right? And then you go here, right? That's like a sequence in yoga practice. And what he always says, he's like the best yoga teacher I've ever had. He always says, this is I can't remember the word he uses. It's such a good word. It's like, this is the deception. This exercise has nothing to do with this leg. It's all about boom, your feet grip, boom, your tailbone, boom, your shoulders. And like, this is just along for the ride. This is a complete exercise in engaging like the inner thigh and pulling up here.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Now try and bring it all the way, swing it out to the right.
With no...
With everything still, Try, There you go, nice. Nice. So,
it's so, I mean, like right there, it's just like...
the crowded, right? So like, for example, when you did this,
Yeah.
you hit your end range here
Oh,
in your hips.
okay.
And then you started to compensate with your tibialis to try and keep rotating. Like, so if I'm here,
yeah,
and then bring this out and like really, like I'm
Wow.
squeezing so hard on my right side
yeah.
and engaging my hips too. And then
What are you
rotate.
squeezing on your right side? Glutes?
Yeah, straight
Yeah.
glutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Straight
Oh, well, I
glutes.
feel like I used to, and Jordan and I have been talking about this a lot, is just like stuff like gluteal amnesia. Are you familiar with this term?
Amnesia, gluteal amnesia.
It's a real common for especially desk job people.
Huh.
The glute doesn't fire.
Oh.
It's not exactly atrophied, but from a neuromuscular perspective, it's atrophied. For what it's worth, just since we're here, the number one exercise to cure gluteal amnesia is one-legged bridges. This is like if you feel like your glutes don't fire properly, this is the thing that will show you. And you have gluteal amnesia. I feel like the test that PTs do is you go into a bridge and you say, where do you feel this? And if you have gluteal amnesia, you'll primarily feel it in your quads. And if you don't, you'll feel it in your glutes. But this is like an increasing, this is actually this, and have you heard of piriformis syndrome? You know what piriformis is? Piriformis is one of the main external hip rotators, and it crosses the sciatic nerve. So it connects the, I want to say the ilium. It's either the ilium or it's the sacrum. It connects the sacrum to the greater trochanter on the outside of the leg. And it has this real, I think, somebody in the chat may correct me on this, but it has this real strong tendency to get super tight. The way that you release piriformis is you get a ball and you go on here, something like this.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
See, I've been doing
Right,
this stuff,
right.
but it's
Yeah, yeah.
I
I know,
don't know
I
what
know.
I'm doing, but I'm like,
I know.
that's sore. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Like,
yeah,
so.
right there. And so this one, when you have piriformis syndrome, that can send pain like all over the body because it crosses the sciatic nerve, which goes into your like toes and everything.
And your mobility after you do this
Yeah.
is like tenfold.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just releases it. But like, I guess like, I heard one fitness guy say that it's like, when you're doing mobility stuff like this, it's, this is like putting money in the bank. Like this is like savings, you know?
Totally.
So like,
to jump in briefly and just to back that up, in India they have a saying that you're as old as the mobility of your spine.
That's a pretty good one. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, this is like what you think of. Okay, if this is putting money in the bank, then what are we spending our money on, right? And when we work out, anytime we dance, we're spending money, like we're expending stuff. So this is one way to like put money in the bank and actually prolong the things that we love to do, and that's move. So I guess like tying all this stuff back to dance, like it can get so technical in anatomy, but like a lot of us, we're like, okay, how does this translate?
How do I be dope?
Yeah,
How do I
just fucking kill it?
dude?
Yeah. Because you're not gonna be like thinking like in your round like boom bah. And you're like,
Yeah, right.
I'm thinking about
Nice.
how what I'm thinking about my glute firing. No,
yeah,
I'm not thinking about that.
Right.
But
How does this baseline relate to the firing of my glute?
yeah. So like, basically you do all this stuff and you compartmentalize. At least for me, this is how I do it. It's like I train like this so I don't have to think about it later. It's the same when I drill stuff with tutting or waving or grooves. It's like you'll see me like in the gym or at home and I'm just like drilling a groove, but like that's not like a natural feeling, like but when you step out into the club or the cypher or a battle, you actually have the groove built in. Your feeling is the same as it always was, but now people can attach to the aesthetic of it. So it's just like training these things so it's second nature, and then you can just let go. And that's, to me, freestyle, And that's how you up your aesthetic. Because we all have a feeling deep inside. I posted a video recently. It's like like the feeling inside before I was even on beat when I
Your
first started.
2009, yeah, it's a great, you guys should watch that. You should go to his DSoul page on Facebook, and it's like a time lapse sort of thing of like progress.
Yeah, this is just like a little snippet. I'm actually doing like one where it's like 2009 all the way to present, like so it'll show all the progress. But like before I was even on beat, like before I met Tabo, you know, like it was, I just like I had a feeling I loved music, you know, and I had a story in my head when music would play, like it would take me to another place or it would take me to experiences that I had in my life, and that feeling I couldn't share with people until I understood how to showcase like emotion or showcase rhythm or showcase sounds in the music that would take people to that place, or you know, create that picture for people to project their own experience on, you know. So
right, and I feel like another way to say that, it's like the technical side of art. It's like you can have a feeling on your own, but the journey, the reason that this is like a lifelong pursuit is how do you express what's inside of you in a way that other people can also see it. Like I know for me, especially with stuff like kyphosis, one of the things that I've struggled with for sure is I'm like in my head I'm like, yeah, like that, right? And the way that it looks is like that. You know, it doesn't, the effect that's being conveyed is not the effect that I'm feeling. And I even see it. If I'm recorded, I'm like, no, that's not what I was trying to express. Like, what I was trying to express in here was so dope. It's like, oh, okay, now I see, like, well, that's why you have to train all of this stuff so that other people can feel what you're feeling.
Yeah.
You know, tune your instrument. And I feel like, I mean, I think for both of us, and I feel like a lot of us, one of the dopest parts about dance is it's so holistic in that way, because your tuning of your instrument is your body. So it relates to your discipline and your nutrition, and you're spending time putting money in the bank with, like, you know, tissue work and exercise, and like it's very holistic in that sense.
Yeah. That's also kind of like why when I see people that aren't as good or skilled, or like for me, I love watching them, because to me I'm trying to pull back the aesthetic, and I'm going, what are they feeling inside? What are they experiencing when they hear this music? And I see people offbeat, and I'll still vibe with them. I'm not like, oh, this motherfucker's offbeat, you know, like to me it's like they're on their journey, you know, and it's not for us to like kind of, I don't know, judge their skill, you know. It's everybody's at different places in their life, and people have different values and different responsibilities, and the fact that I can devote all this time to movement is like super privileged, you know. So to me it's like when you see those people, like hopefully they're open to learning, you know. And then you can give them clues on their journey. But yeah, if not, just let them enjoy the music and vibe with them. Hopefully it's on beat. But
you wanna is there anything you wanna say to kind of wrap this up? Maybe let's come back to shoulder blade as like a final reminder, because I feel like this shoulder control is that's the 2019 thing.
Shoulder control.
Yeah.
Let's see. So as far as like for me, if you think about end range of motion,
yeah, right. What's up?
Find those end ranges of motion, and then bring it back to find neutral as well. But then that's the place where you explore from, and really try and isolate from those places, you know. And for example, if I'm doing circles here and my arms are straight down, what happens when I do the same circle but my arms straight out? Or
Dang.
what if my hands are here, you know?
Like cobra, huh?
Yeah. So like they all provide kind of a different neuromuscular connection, and they also require more intention. Like this one is harder to keep your hands. This one's the easiest, right? Because you're just letting your arms hang. But then you can even alternate. You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's all these different progressions that you can do with isolation, but use the mirror, use video, and I would actually encourage people to seek out like a second pair of eyes that can, because for me, I always check in with these guys. You know, that they're like, oh, like.
Hey,
you know,
this is a
it's
good.
the slightest
He's
thing.
available for privates. I think, for my money, this is the best teacher in the world, right? And I'm not saying that people. If there's anything I've built a whatever on, it's like, oh, Otis doesn't bullshit. This guy's available for privates. Daniel Norwood on Facebook, DSoul, DSOU1 on Instagram. Hit him up. Skype, IG. It's so worth your time. I've suggested this to several people who have done it, and they've replied to me and they've said to me straight up. I mean, this is just telling the truth. That he probably doesn't even know this. They've been like, dude, thank you so much, because the best thing about DSoul as a teacher was he really, I could feel how much he cared and how much he wanted me to get better, more than there are many teachers, or we'll just say many dancers, who it's just like, yeah, bro, let's do a private, and you like do your thing, and then it's the end, and it's like, cool, okay, the end. And to find somebody who can really look at you and see and actually have progressions and things of this nature is like incredibly valuable. So I highly encourage you to do this.
I hope that was helpful, y'all.
Yeah. Word. That was dope. This is I love it, because you know what this signals to me? This signals like at least like one branch of this channel becoming like so different than most of YouTubers. It's like, hey guys, today we're gonna do shoulder mobility. It's like, no, this is like a whole like exploration into
You
got a Ido
Portal quote. Ido Portal's legit.
Yeah. Ido Portal quote to end it. Your ability to move very much determines your age.
Yeah.
Peace.